Good evening, everyone. So last class we have discussed about the dictionary, Python dictionary, and then we have discussed about the uh, if-else condition, if-else condition, decision making. Decision making means if-else condition we have discussed. Today we are going to discuss about the Python loops. Python loops. Okay. So in this we are going to discuss about the in general a statement are executed sequentially. In general, statements are executed sequentially. The first statement in the function is executed first, followed by the second, and so on. So first it will execute first statement and then second statement and then and so on. The statements will be executed here. So now there may be a situation when you need to execute a block of code several a number of times. So if you want to execute multiple statements, so better to use the loops in Python to execute a number of statement it will execute. Like if you have 10, 15, 30, 40 statement to be executed. So if you write it manually, it will be so difficult. So if you, if you use loop, then like n number of statement will be executed using loop. So a loop statement allows to execute a statement or group of statement multiple times. So multiple times the group will be repeated, and the number of statement will be executed as per the condition, whatever the condition we will define. The Python programming language provides the following types of loop in to handle looping requirement. So while loop and then for loop and then nested loop will be there. So one more is there, do while loop, that also we'll see if we'll have here. Now next one is like while loop. What while loop will do? So it will start the execution, and then like whatever the condition you will give here. So if this is true, then it will execute the statement, and then it will go and it will again verify that condition still exists or not. And then it will, if it's a true, then it will execute again this statement, and then it will execute until unless the condition will be not over. Condition will be whatever the condition you have given, it will be not over. The loop will be continuously, it will be executed. Consider that if condition is false, it will come out and then it will stop the loop. So while loop will work like that. The syntax for the while loop is while, and then you can give the condition and then execute your code. So like this, consider that we have one program, count is equals to 1, and I want to print a value 1 to 5. Then we are going to give start the count as equals to 1, and then while count is less than 6, this is the condition we are providing, then print a count value. So first of all, the count value is 1, and then 1 is less than 6, then it will print the statement, and then it will increment the value by 1. Count plus equals to 1 means it will increment the whatever the values. 1 is here. So 1 plus is equals to 1 means it will increment by 1, and now count value will become 2. Count value will become 2. Then while the 2 is less than 6, then it will print whatever the statement you will mention here, the count value. So it will print 2 here. First, it will print 1 as we are declaring count only, the variable itself. Then 1, then 2, and then now the count value is 2. Plus equals to 1 means the count value will become 3 now. Then 3 is less than 6, it will execute this again. Until unless this will be not satisfied, it will keep repeating the things. And if you see here, when it will reach till count is equals to 6, then 6 is less than 6, that is false, then it will come out of the loop. Now, if you see here in your Databricks, So when I'll run this one, it will print 1 to 5. 1 to 5 it will print. Because it will repeatedly, it will check the condition and then it will print as per the required condition. And indentation, we have to, uh, we have to take care of indentation. Then only it will work out. So it's repeated again and again. So it's now indentation is in Python is very important as we have not indented the print statement. It was not giving output. And then when I mention here count, then it will be treated as it is continuously. It is going with this one only. This statement only it is executing. When I gave the indentation of this count also, so it will be assumed that okay, for this while we are stopping here. This is also part of this one, and until unless it will not reach till 6, it will keep executing the values. So this is the your while loop. So if you want to print a 1 to 10 number, then we are going to use this program. And same thing, whatever we have seen just now, same way it will work. It will keep on incrementing the values and it will give you until unless it will not reach the condition value, it will keep executing. So now if you see here, I have mentioned here, I is greater than equals to 10. I is greater than equals to 10. Until unless it will not reach up to 10, then it will keep executing the values. It will keep executing the values while completed or done. So uh, this is the thing. So print done. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It is printing I here, 1, and then it is printing this statement. And the end, when the condition, it will reach 10 value, then it will print the condition will be false here, and then it will print this statement. So what it means, first value will be I. So when 1 is less than equals to 10, then it will print 1 here, and then it will go and it will go here I is equals to 1, 1 plus 1 it will 2. Now I value is 2, so it will go and it will check 2 is less than equals to less than 10, then it will print again print 2, so it will print 2 again, and then this statement will be printed. Is it a part of while loop? So like this it will continue till 10, and then when I value will become 10 or 11, then when I value will become 11, then 11 is less than equals to 10. That is not true. So it will go and it will print a false part. So this condition will be false, then it will print this part. So this is what the high level of while loop. So if you want to do it opposite, like reverse order, descending order, then this program will work out. Now, if you see here, I is equals to 10, and then I is greater than equals to 1, like that it will work. So it will print in reverse order. Reverse order. If you'll change the this one as well as minus, if you'll do it. So when I is 10, then it will go 10 is greater than equals to 1. Yeah, true. Then it will print 10, and then 10 minus 1, it will become 9. I is 9, then 9 is less than greater than equals to 1. Okay, so print 9, and then 9 minus 1, it will become 8. Like that, it will be repeated until unless it will reach this condition will be satisfied. Okay, so like this, it will print. Once this condition is false, then it will print this statement. So if you want to print a odd number between given number, then modulus will work here. So here we have to give the input. Using input method, it will ask to enter the number. So it is a range of values where you have to give the range of values. So two input number we are putting minimum and maximum value. When I is equals to x, I is modulus 2, which will return 2, which will return 0. Then it will increment the value by 1 and then consider that 2 is the even number. 2 modulus 2 which is 0, then it will go and it will increment the value by 1 and then it will print 3. So like that it will be there. So first of all it will start from 0 and then enter a minimum number. Consider that I'm entering 1 and then again if I enter, sorry, enter 1 and then again when I enter second value it will ask, consider I want to print between 100. So when I enter this one, then it will give you the output as whatever the y one when I is less than equals to y, print I. It is printing 1 only. So okay, let me check. It is saying 13579. So where we were doing mistake, so we have not incremented the value. We have incremented the values, but this part we have removed. That's why the problem was. So we are entering the minimum value and then we are entering the maximum value, x and y range. We have not defined y range there. So we removed that one. So that's why it was not printing. Then if x modulus 2, then if it's a 0, then it will return odd number, even number. Okay, consider that if we have 2 here, 2 modulus 2, which will return 0. If it's a true, then it will go and it will print this one. So I is equals to x plus 1. So it will add a minimum value to 1. And then 2 plus 1, it will become 3. So it will print 3. It will print 3. Else I is equals to x. I is equals to x. So it will, whatever the value you have defined here, so it will be assigned here. Okay. If it's this condition will be not true. Then print odd number between x and y. So we are setting here now y value. When I is less than equals to y, whatever the value we have defined here, so it's taking that values. Print I plus equals to 2. So when it print 1 as a first odd number, then it will increment it by 2. It will increment by 2 and then I will become here again 3, 5, 7, 9 like that. So next one is for loop. So for loop in Java, you will have very complex level. So it will have it will have three initializations, three parameters will be there. So for loop in Java, so it will have three parameters. Once it will be satisfied, like for loop initialization, condition, and update. So whatever the you have to initialize the variable, and then you have to provide the condition here, and then you have to increment the value or decrement the values by one or two or something, and then the code of this one will be there. So like this, it will work in the Java. But in Python, it is like very simple. You can like program will start from here, and then you declare the counter. You declare the counter. If it's a true, then it will evaluate the condition, and then it will stop. So again, from evaluate the condition, and it will execute the values, and then it will go increment counter, and then like that. Like you first you will declare the counter, and then it will evaluate the value. So if it's a true, then it will execute this one, and then it will go and increment the values. Again, this loop will be continuous until unless whatever the declared counter will be not satisfied. So if it's like when it will return false, then it will go and stop. So it will not go further for to execute the values once it will be false. And when it will be true, all the times, whenever it will be true, then it will go and it will continuously, it will be running the loops here. It will be running the loops here. A for loop is used for the iterating over a sequence that is either a list, a tuple, a dictionary, a set, or a string. With the for loop, we can execute a set of a statement once for each item in the list. I mean, like once for each item, it will execute the statement. Something like consider that we have a list. We have a list, fruit list, and then it has the three items. So consider that now X is first item, which will be 0. So 0 in fruits, it will print this item. Consider X is 0. So at 0 position, whatever the item will be there, it will print this one. Then again, it will increment the value by 1. So it will go and it will check uh, 1, 1 position banana, and then it will print from the fruits, and then banana will be printed. Like this, n number of values will be there. It will print n number of values. N number of values it will print. So those things are there. So let me show you. Already we have seen this one. Sorry. Apple, banana, cherry, one by one, it will print. So looping through the string, how the loops will be, in the string, how can you loop through the string? So consider that we have a banana and you want to apply here the for loop. So one by one, it will read the string. One by one, it will read the string and it will print one, then two, again 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until unless it will not be over. It will keep printing those values. So like this, your Python for loop works. So for loop, something like very simple compared to Java, very simple compared to Java. And if you want to stop anywhere, like consider that with the break statement, we can stop the loop before it has looped through the all the items. Exit the loop when X is banana. So when I'm giving as X is banana, then you come out of the loop. Then you break the loop. Then you break the loop. So break method, which will break the loop, which will break the loop, and it will print up to banana only. So when it will find wherever the banana is there, you come out of the loop, you break the loop. For X in a fruits, print X. When X is banana, then you come out of the loop, you break the loop. So this is the use of your break method. So now this is also one important thing. So Apple only it's printing here. So when I'm printing X here, and it is going to check the values here, and then it will break it. So first it will print apple, and then banana, and then when X value is banana, we are printing till banana here. When X value is banana, then it will break the loop. Okay, so till this one, if you print if you mention print statement before if statement, then it will execute till the banana. until unless like x value is assigned banana, so it will not come out of loop. When you will mention here print statement, now print statement x value is banana only, but it's saying that break it. You don't print this one. You break the loop and then whatever the value before banana is there, you print that one. So it will print apple like that. So continue method. So when I mention continue method, with continue method, we can stop the current iteration of the loop and continue with the next. What will happen when I mention here banana and then continue? So what it will do, it will not print this one and it will continue with the further execution, but it will escape this value. It will escape this value. It will escape this values. So apple and cherry. So banana will be skipped when you use continue method. A range function. So if you want to assign any range and then you want to use it for the for loop, then whatever the value it will come under the range with some indexes, some increment kind of things. Then it will be act like if you see here, so it will print up to it will print up to 5 here. When I say that second one, second one, print between these two numbers. Print between these two numbers. Then it will print whatever the numbers will come in between two date range. Then it will print those numbers only from 50 to 71. So 71 is excluded. So 71 will be not included. 71 will be excluded. And if you want to increment the value with something, if you want to increment the value with something, consider that I'm incrementing the values, each value between 50 and 71 by 2, then it will print 50, 52 like that it will print. So like this, it will print. Using the start parameter. Using the start parameter. So one of the method is like 2 and 6. Whatever value will be there in between 2 and 6, it will print. 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you want to increment the values by something 2, then it will be incremented and whatever the value will come, 2, 4, it will be printed. So again 3, it will be incremented by 3. First it will print 2, then 5, 8, 11 like that it will be printed. 30 will be excluded here. Break the loop when x is 3. Now, one more examples are for this one. Find the product of number in the list. If you want to find the product of number, okay. So this will work out here. So I copied from Google. Maybe printing I was typing, it was taking by default uppercase. So that's what the problem. But we have not defined it in uppercase. So now we'll get the proper So multiplication of the number, 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, which gives 120, which gives 120. Another program, if you want to increment the values by 5, then you're gonna use So it is going to increment by 5. So if you want to increment the value by 5, then it is like this. We are going to increment the value I plus 5. And then whenever you like each value, if you want to increment, then we are going to use for loop for I in the list and then increment the value by I each time when the loop will be executed. So all the four element, when the one by one it will be executed, the 5 will be added each time. So if you want to add 10 again. So each time the 10 will be added and then it will become 20, 30, 40, 50. Then again, we have another program. So if you want to print in uppercase, if you want to print in uppercase, then let me see what will be the output for this. So it will print in a uppercase. Whatever the day you have passed, if you want to print in a uppercase, these values inside the list you want to print in uppercase, then you can use the upper method. So we have seen in the string classes how can we print, you know, yeah, uppercase, lowercase, everything we have seen it. So nested loop. So next one is nested loop is the loop inside a loop. So loop inside the loop, it will be there. So inner loop will be executed first. So wherever you see inner loop, it will be executed first on time for each iteration of the outer loop. So whenever the outer loop will be called, first it will execute the inner loop and then it will go to the outer loop. Consider that you have a two list item here and you want to print one by one. So red apple red apple, big banana, and then tasty cherry. So what it will do, first it will print red and then it will jump to here. Then it will print apple here. So red apple and then here big and then it will go to the another iterator, inner loop, then y and then it will print it like this x comma y. Red apple, red banana. Like each time it is taking as a red. Like first it will execute this loop, and then it will go for the red. Sorry, it will execute the first iterator for the red, and then it will go to the inner loop, and then inner loop will print all the items like apple, banana, cherry, red banana, red apple, red banana, red cherry, and then finally for the big also big apple, big banana, big cherry, tasty apple, banana, cherry, it will be printed one by one. So we have another method also which will print. So let me see. Uh, I want to print red apple one by one. So do is it taking? So it's taking like this only. So when we say X is a adjective break, can we use break? Let me see. Can we use break? Let me see what will be the output. So indentation problem. So brick is saying that here. Yeah. Red apple, red banana, red cherry. So one time only it will be stopped. So it is not satisfying my expectation. Okay, let it be. So now pass statement, what pass statement will do? So pass statement for loop cannot be empty. But if you for some reason have a for loop with a no content, put in the pass statement to avoid getting the error. So if you have empty list or tuple or something, so if you want to you don't want to print those items, then you pass it, it will be not printed, it will be not printed, it will be not printed. It is printing two. So do we have one, two, three? Printing random values. It is printing random values. Okay. So pass method, if you want, if you don't want to, if you don't want, if you are getting like multiple loop condition and all you have written, and if you are getting error, and then if you want to pass those statement, you can write it like pass. That will be ignored. That statement will be ignored. That statement will be ignored. Now see, it's not throwing any error. Okay, something like this. Interesting. So it will be, loop execution percentile percentile x. So whatever the values are there, loop execution 0, okay, loop execution 1, and then loop execution 2. So three times it will be executed from 0 to 2. So it is what having like this. So here again, one by one, it will be printed from the any string. So if you want to print any string one by one, so current letter is T, U, T, O, like that it will be printed. So one by one for each statement, the loop will be executed. So you will understand properly for loop. So first it will print T and then it will execute this statement. And then whatever the later it will be printed that one. And then again, next, whatever the characters will be there, based on that, it will execute those things. So now we have the multiple nested loop. So nested loop in the sense loop inside the loop. So one loop and then another loop, one loop and another loop. So now G and K value we are printing, and then G into K value we are printing. G into K value we are printing. So what will happen here? So it will print 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8, 5, 10. So first 1 into 1, okay, and then 1 into 2, 1 into 2, and then it will print 2 into 1, 2 into 2, like that it will be printed. As it is a end level is 3 and end level is 6, so it will be ignored here, and then till 5 and 3 only it will be taken in the consideration. So something like this also interesting. More example on the for loop. So print in 1 to 10 numbers, we have just seen it. Print only even numbers 1 to 20. We have seen the odd even number, odd number. So this is sending order also we have seen. So like this, we can find more values and then it will be printed. Count vowel in the word. Count vowel in the word. So this is one more interesting example. Now we have the vowel A, E, I, O, U. And then if we have a word, okay, enter a word. So you can enter a word. Consider that I'm entering Jayant Kumar. So it will count how many vowels we have. So A is a vowel, which is available 3 times. U is the vowel, which is available 1 time. So the program is like that for C in the word. Okay. So whatever the word you are passing here through the input method, so that word it will take, and then if C in a vowel, C in the vowel, then result C result dot get C comma 0 plus 1 for K and V sorted result items. So it's like different methods inside. So don't go in that much of detail now. So these are the break, continue, pass method we have seen. We have already seen break and then continue method and then pass method. So what I'll do, I'll upload this document to your drive. You can go through this drive document. Okay. Next one will be functions. So how big this function is? It is a big. Okay, sir. Guys, so let's see that how much we will be able to cover today Python, functions. So we'll try to complete it and then we'll move on. Now, a function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. So, like whenever you have created the function. So, for one code, consider that you have a multiple requirements are there, multiple programs are there, and then you want to like for one of the logics you have created a function, and it is repeatably it will be called in the future steps also. So consider you have written 100 programs, 100-line programs, and then some of the logics which are repeated many places. So what you'll do, you'll create a function. In that, you will define the logic, and then whenever you want, you can call that functions inside whenever you want to, do it inside the same code of the block. So creating, you can pass data none as parameter into a function. So whatever the data you will pass inside the function, it will be called as parameter. A function returns data as a result. Creating a function. How will you create a function? How will you create a function? In a Python, a function is defined as def keyword. Def keyword. So if you want to create a function, then you will make it as a def and then function name, and then here is the open bracket, close bracket. You can pass the parameter or the variables here. So consider that I'm calling this I'm going to create this function and I'm printing hello my function. So but we have not called this function. Let's see what will be the output. So these functions we have created, but we have not called this function. What happened here is just executed, but as we have not called this function, it will not execute this block of code. This block of code, it will be not, it's got executed, but this statement will be not printed because we have not called in our program. So if you want to call this program, then you have to, this method, you have to call it separately. This method, you have to call it separately, like this one. So now it will print this statement because you have called. So it will go and it will check my function and then it will print this statement. So whenever you create a functions, you have to call. You have to call functions to print the statements. Just a second. Argument. So there are something called very important in functions, which is arguments. You can pass a number of argument in a function, and as per your requirement, you can pass a number of argument. Informations can be passed into functions as argument. Okay, so whatever the information or the value you want to pass or data you want to pass to the function, that will be through the argument you can pass. Argument is specified after the function name inside the parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, you can pass the parameter values or anything you want to execute. You can add as many as parameter you want, just separate them with the comma. So this argument can be separated through the comma. N number of argument we can add, and those argument will be separated with the comma. The following example have the function with one argument f name first name. When the function is called, we pass along a first name, which is used inside the functions to print the full name. So whenever you pass the argument, it must be defined some value. It will you have to define the values. Whenever you will be calling the function, that time you have to declare the values. So whenever you are using any argument, it cannot be blank. You have to add you have to add values to the whenever you will be calling the values. Whenever you will calling the functions. So that time you have to declare the values. You have to declare the values. Consider that this is the argument I'm passing, and argument values I'm passing whenever I'm calling. Again and again, I'm passing the I'm you know I'm calling the function, and each time when we call, it will go and it will print this print statement. Whenever how many times you will call, that many times it will go and it will print this statement. So Jayant Kumar, Ramesh Kumar, Mahesh Kumar, like that. Perform calculation and two numbers. Now, if you see here, I'm going to create a function def calculator KLC and then CLC and then A and B, two argument we are passing here. Two argument we are passing to this function, and I'm passing some statement also. X is equals to A plus B, Y is equals to A minus B, Z is equals to A into B, and U is equals to A and B. So I'm just returning, I want to return this value whatever the functions calculations we have performed based on the two argument, whatever the calculation we have performed here, I'm just want to return this value. So whatever the value you want to return, if you want to return x, you can mention x. If you want to return all the four, then you will return those value, and then you pass the result in the, like whenever you want to pass this, whenever you call this function, whenever you call the function. So result is equals to calculation 10 comma 5. So a value will be 10 and then b value will be 5. Print result. So result will go and it will call again and again. How many times returns value it will be there. So that many times it will be called, and then it will be value will be printed, and we are going to pass our for loop also to repeatedly it should execute the values. It should execute the values. So what it will happen for I in result. So result what I want, this one. So it will go and it will execute again and again this loop. Okay, I is equals to uh, 10 comma 5, and then it will go and it will print x y z y. So let's see that how it works. So if you want more detail of this step by step, paste in the uh, what is that? Chat GPT. It will explain you step by step the program. Now you're saying that X is a sum of A and B, Y is a sum of a difference of A and B. Like this, it will explaining. Then what is the importance of result? So call the this function with a 10 and 5 argument. Same thing what I told you. You are calling this result again and again, like one time only. Using a for loop, it will be called again and again. The functions returns 10, 5, 50, which is stored in the variable result. Then print result. So you are printing these values like this. And then when you are using a for loop, iterating and printing each item, each element, so it will go and it will print this loop iterate over each element in the result, tuple and print them individually. So wherever you will get stuck, just pass into the chat GPT. It will give you step by step definition for anything, any programs or anything. If you if you struggle, then put there. It will explain you one by one. Okay, now parameter of argument. Parameters of argument. The terms parameter and argument can be used for the same thing, information that are passed into the function. So parameter or argument. So it can be same thing, parameter and argument. If from a function perspective, a parameter is a variable listed inside the parenthesis in a function definition. An argument is the value that is sent to the functions when it is called. Number of arguments. So how many numbers of argument you can pass? So two argument you are passing, and then you are calling two argument whenever you are calling the functions. These two argument will be executed as per this in the print statement. When you have passed, so it's saying that if you try to call the functions with one or three argument, you will get error. So how many argument you have passed here, that many value you have to pass here. So if I run this one, we may get error. We may get error because number of parameter what you have passed, when you are calling the functions, same number of parameter you have to declare. So it's saying that my function missing one required positional argument ln. So you are passing the first, by default it will take first value. So you are missing this last name. Let's finish it only. Arbitrary argument, star args argument. Okay, so if you do not know how many arguments that will pass into your function, if you don't know how many arguments are passed during while creating a function, how many arguments you have passed, and you don't know, then what you have to do, add a asterisk before the parameter name in the function definition. In the function definition, if you don't know how many arguments you are going to pass, you mention as a star, and then what are the things will be there, it will be taken as per the number of argument. So this way the functions will receive a tuple or tuple of argument, and can access item accordingly. Okay, so now I'm declaring with the kids name, kids here, with our arbitrary argument star kids. So print the youngest child is plus kids 2. So whatever the value we are passing here, 0, 1, 2. So lateness will be printed in this case. And whatever the value here, you see number of arguments we are passing more. So what happened here? What happened here? Because of this star asterisk, so the it will be considered that okay, anything you want to print here, it will be executed. So consider that I don't give anything. So let me see what value we'll get. So it's not a tuple. It's not a tuple. It's asking a tuple value here. Consider 0 when I'm putting here. So it's expecting a tuple here. Okay. Whatever the value you want to print, it will take one item only, I guess. So it is taking one value only. Let me see if it will work with the slice operator or not. 1, and then consider that I want to print till 3. So it will take two values or not. Let me see. So it is saying that single value only it will accept, and it should be tuple, not tuple. This is a can only concate string, not tuple. So tuple you cannot concate. So those things you have to see. Oh, Baba. Keyword argument. So okay, keyword argument means what? So key value pair we have seen yesterday class dictionary. So we have seen that what is keys and then what is the values. So what happened here, you can also send argument with the key value pair syntax. This way the order of argument does not matter. So whatever the order is there, you can mention anywhere like child 3, child 2, child 1. When I'm calling, when I'm creating a function, I have declared multiple arguments here, and then print the youngest child is child 3. So child 3 is the youngest child. So whatever you want to print, you can print here child 1, child 2, child 3 as per your requirement. So my function child 1 is ML, child to each, we are defining our argument values here. So, as per the requirement, it will be printed. So double star. Now double asterisk is coming. If you do not know how many keywords argument that will be passed into your function, add two asterisk before the parameter name in the function definition. This way the functions will receive the dictionary of argument and can access the items accordingly. So when I don't want how many arguments can be passed, so in that case we can use double asterisk also. Same thing only what I feel, but like last name, whatever you have defined, it will be printed that one. You can use, and this is the tuple only case. So it will not accept two values, only one values it will accept. So like this, you can see. Default parameter is something like you will have the empty function. Empty function, well, when you will call, you'll be calling, it will be empty function. So the following example, so how to use the default parameter values, default parameters values. If we call the functions without argument, it uses the default values. It uses the default values. So whatever the values you are passing here, country is equals to Norway. Country is equals to Norway. So what happened here? Argument we are passing with the country is equals to Norway. So when I'm saying that I am from, and then when you are passing countries, when we are calling this function, it will go and it will print Sweden. I am from Sweden, and I am from India. Then when you be like default parameter when you pass, when you call this one as an empty parameter, then it will go and it will print whatever the value you have defined here. So it will print I am from Norway. So I'm from Sweden, I'm from the Norway. This is the meaning of your default parameter, passing a list as an argument. So this is the argument, passing as a list as an argument. So my function food, for x in food, print x, fruits, apple, banana, cherry. So I have declared, I have given a parameter as a food. Okay, and I'm creating a list here. I'm creating a list here, and when I'm calling my function, I'm calling as a fruits. So fruits, whatever we have given, by default it will take this fruits only, and then when you pass it for loop, it will be printed one by one fruits only, fruits only. Whatever you have mentioned the food, I feel that there is no meaning of that food only for to write the x for loop, it is going to be used. It is going to be used. Whatever the parameter you have passed, and then we have declared the list. So list item I'm call whenever I'm calling the function, that time I'm passing this list item, and then by default it will go and it will print as part of food, and then the for loop will be applied here. Return value. So what it will do, you have declared a parameter here in the function x, and whenever you are passing here as a whenever you are calling a function and you are passing some argument here, parameter here, it will go and it will give here and returns what it will do, whatever the return you want to do. So now x value is 3, 5 into 3, 15, 5 into 5, 25, 5 into 9, 90, 45 it will give. 15, 25, 45. Pass a statement. Again, if you don't want to pass this statement or like this function, then you can make it as a pass to avoid the error. So if you have, like you can add, what happens sometimes, no? You have multiple logics, okay? Multiple logics, and then you define all the logics, but you don't, while writing the code, So you don't want to miss that this logic as well. This logic as well you don't want to miss as of now. So what do you think like okay, we'll cross check later. Once it will be clear, I can add multiple things in this. But as of now, I will add this function. For this logic, I will add this function. In future, we'll use it. So what you will do, you will create that functions with that logic, and then you will pass it. What will happen here? Whenever you will run the big code, no, it will be ignored. This statement will be ignored. Now, function inside the function. So you can create n number of functions here inside the function. So I've written one function, another function, and uh, I'm returning hello. So result will be message plus name, message plus name. So message you are returning hello, and then the message plus name hello Bharat. It will print return result. Whatever the output you see here, it will return hello Bharat. So all these things you people try and then work around and find out more examples from the Google. Now, recursion is a method. Okay, recursion is a method, important method. What happened here? We will have the factorial. Factorial three means three into two into one. It will give you six. So if I say that factorial five, which will be five into four into three into two into one. So that is the use of factorial. So Python also accepts function recursion, which means a defined function can call itself. Recursion is a common mathematical and programming concept. It means that a function calls itself. This has the benefit of meaning that you can loop through data to each in a reach in a detail. So like if I say here n is equals to 0, factorial functions I'm creating. If n is equals to 0, return 1, else return n into factorial n minus 1, factorial n minus 1. So n is one term, and then factorial n minus 1 means it will return 1, I guess. Okay, and then I'm passing the value 5. The output will be, output will be 120. So this is the recursion method. So it will execute based on the expressions whatever you have defined. So like that it will be this one. Consider that if I make it as a plus, then what will be the output? So it's not a recursion method here. So if I say that n and n only, then what will be the output? Let's see. So again, it's saying that no. So when you declare a factorial, n into n minus 1 you will have to declare. Okay. So n factorial n minus 1 means what? N minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3, n minus 4, like that it will be, like that it will happen. So if I mention here 10 factorial will be very big number. So it is a very big number. So 100 factorial again, it will be in a exponent, sorry, 100. Factorial 0 means 1 it will return. Always factorial 0 when you will pass, it will return 1. Now see how big this number is. Very big. Very, very big. So this is what your recursion method. So use this one. Default argument and all these things are there. Argument 1 and all that. Some examples I have copied. Lambda functions still. Now, lambda functions means what? No, like consider that lambda is a normal functions which does not have name, does not have name. So what happen when you write programs like this? Okay, write a program like this, and when you pass here like this, it will not return anything because we are not calling functions here. To return anything, we have to why invalid syntax? Huh? Return, return. So it will not pass anything. Here, if you want to print something, then we have to say, or we have to call the function, I guess. Or we have to pass the value. So 5 into 5, 25 is to return. 25 is return. So like this. So this thing we can write using the lambda function also. This thing we can write using the lambda function also. So what happened here? Lambda we are defining x is equals to x into x. X is equals to x into x. So lambda augment list expression is the syntax. F is equals to lambda x is equals to x into x. So what happened here? So lambda function we need to work out more. So what happened here? Recently I've added this one. And this is very important lambda function. In Python, a lambda function is a small n function defined using the lambda keyword. It can have any number of arguments, but only one expression. So in one expression only, you are defining your whole expression. Lambda functions are useful for the short throw way function. Let me copy this definition. In one line only you are writing, and it's for the small operation, guys. It will be for the small calculation. It will be useful, and many times we are also going to use whenever we'll see the database. So there we are going to see. So 100 is the output. 10 into 10, 100. The program was correct only. Find a cube of a number. So lambda functions, it's like very small. When you write it, it is right in a three letter, but we can write it like this. Okay, guys. So this is what the functions. What we'll do tomorrow, we will try to finish our NumPy and Pandas. So tomorrow is Thursday, correct? So Pandas and NumPy will try to complete this one, and then we'll make it over this one, and we'll go for the database from next week onwards. Okay. So bye everyone. We'll upload the recordings into your Google Drive as well as YouTube. So yeah, bye everyone. Do practice. More practice required for the function as well as for the loop and the iterator.